We'll just give them a minute to connect, for everyone to connect. Lisa. All right, it looks like we are ready to get started. Welcome to our first post-game women's basketball Zoom press conference. Thank you all for being with us. Let us know if you have any difficulties as we work through this process together. And at this point, we'll have Coach Coulson go ahead and make a statement about the game. And then we will take questions. Either raise your hand or put a note in the chat when you're ready to have a question. And we'll come to you and call on you. Just a reminder that we are recording this Zoom. Thanks, everyone. Go ahead, Lisa.
Yeah, we knew the opponent coming in today was going to challenge us really in all facets of the game, and they proved that to be true. You know, starting out in a hole, I think we looked like a young team and they looked like a veteran team. And unfortunately, we playing from behind all afternoon made things that much more difficult. I give credit to IUPUI. Again, that's a postseason basketball team from last year and returning most of their firepower. So as bad as it may feel right now, I do think it's going to be a great teaching tool for our young ball club to learn some things and hopefully continue to grow and get better.
Thank you. Again, if you have a question now, you can put a note in the chat, raise your hand, or if you know how to raise your hand on Zoom, go ahead and raise your hand. All right, go ahead, Eddie Kirkio from the Daily Chronicle.
Hey, Coach. What would you say was costing you guys shot-wise?
I'm sorry, Eddie, say that again?
What would you say was costing you guys shot-wise? It looked like your shooting percentage was really low. Was it shot selection? Was there something they were doing? What did you see with that?
Well, I think a big part of it is they really hang their hat on the defensive end, and I thought they made things very difficult for us. You know, we obviously didn't get in any really good flow offensively, which means we didn't have great spacing and we didn't get the shots that we're used to getting in practice because of their defensive pressure. So a lot of things contributed to that. But I don't think it's not like we had great looks or great shots that just didn't go in. They really made us work for everything. So credit IUPUI's defense.
Eddie, anything else?
Asia, when did she get hurt and what's the situation with that? I assume that's recent?
Yeah, it was recent, and, you know, she's kind of day-to-day right now. We hope to have her back the next time we step on the court, which obviously will make a big difference for us.
What difference how much of a difference or what difference did you see that having tonight?
Well, I think anytime you're playing against someone like Macy Williams, who is just a great low-post presence, I think, you know, Asia is, for us, the same thing, a low-post presence. And so I think the physicality obviously made a difference. You know, it's one more body to throw at her, which would have been really important. And then, you know, Asia's ability to rebound the basketball is also critical. So there's a lot of things that she brings to the table that is different than the players we had on the floor tonight. So, you know, it just would have been one more piece of the puzzle that would have been helpful.
All right, we'll go to Justin Kelly from the Northern Star. Justin, go ahead and unmute yourself. I've unmuted you.
Coach, my first question is for you is the turnovers were a big issue, like you said. I know you guys I don't imagine you guys had a separate game plan for IUPUI, but with COVID having implications on your game against Illinois State, was that kind of a big part? Because I know that was a kind of short turnaround because you guys canceled the game on Friday and then you guys had to kind of get ready for IUPUI because that wasn't announced till I believe yesterday or Monday that you were playing them. I don't know if that had anything to do with today's performance or not, or.
You know, I don't think that it necessarily had anything to do with today's performance. You know, those are two very different teams, though. And from a preparation standpoint, you know, maybe. But again, I credit IUPUI. That's a team that a lot of people are going to struggle against, and I think it was a great challenge for us. You're right, we turned the ball over too much. I think obviously they their defensive pressure. And also, you know, the first time we really put a uniform on this year against somebody else, I thought we were a little frantic and jittery. Once we settled down, obviously we were a little bit better, but by that time, you know, we kind of playing from behind and in a hole, and that was unfortunate.
Coach, my next question is, you lost a lot of, this is, like you mentioned in your beginning there, this is a really, really young team. I know you guys got some players back in Aaron and Janae, but how really big was Shelby today? She had a career day today. I know she kind of, I mean, she's stepping into a new role because as being a ball handler and stuff like that. She had some issues of turnovers, but you said it goes back to defense. What do you see from Shelby's game day and her advancing from her first year here to now? I mean, her first game is sophomore year.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to expect a lot of Shelby this year. You know, she's going to be our primary ball handler. I think she had some uncharacteristic turnovers today. And again, whether that's the first time we play against somebody else, it's a combination of that and good defensive pressure. But I think she'll clean that up. But the role that we have for Shelby is going to be a big one. You know, we want the ball in her hands. We trust that she's going to make good decisions. And we also trust that she's going to be able to stick the ball in the basket. And I think you saw at times all of those things this afternoon. So, you know, she's ready for that challenge. We've talked about the change in role, and she'll be a focal point of what we do every night out.
My last question for you coaches, I brought it up in my last one. With Aaron Hodges and Janae coming back, those are two key additions. Really more interested about Janae because she looked really good out there. She played a couple games last year and she kind of had more knee issues. What did you see her from her first game being fully back? You know, kind of, she still probably has some limitations, but not many. But she looked different from last year, in my opinion. I know last year she was coming off that knee injury, and then she had another issue. But it looked different from her today. It looked like she was more prepared and ready to go from last year, in my opinion.
Well, the way Janae feels physically now is better than she's ever felt since her knee injury. And so that comfort level, I think, because she has more faith in herself physically, is going to make her look different on the court. You know, we all remember Janae and know that she's got the ability to score the basketball in bunches. And there's times that I know that she's going to give that to us. So you're right. I think her comfort level on the floor was much different than we've seen her really since before her knee injury. So we're excited to have her as a piece of the puzzle. And I know she's excited that she got a chance to get back on the floor, and she'll continue to get more and more comfortable in what we're doing. So, like you mentioned, having Janae back, having Aaron back, two definitely dynamic players for us that can help us in all facets of the game.
That's all I had. Thank you, Coach.
Any other questions for Coach Carlsen? All right, Lisa, thank you very much.
Yep, thank you.
Next up, I believe we will have Shelby Coker. So, Justin, if you're ready, we'll go ahead and let you start with Shelby.
Oh, hi, Shelby. My first question for you is, well, first of all, congratulations. This is your biggest scoring game as a Husky so far. What are some of the things that you really improved on? I know you talked about your development from last year, this year, a little bit last season, but what are some of the things that you've more looking to do this year from last?
Starting off the ball's going to be in my hand more often. So just ball handling skills and being able to score when we need to.
To go off of that, this is a general question. Coming into your sophomore year with, you know, being COVID and stuff like that, what are some of your expectations that you guys have as a team throughout the season? I know COVID might have some implications with that. I know you guys kind of got a little hot at the end of the season really last year, and it kind of cut you guys' MAC tournament run a little short because of COVID. But what are some of the goals that you have for the season to progress?
We're going to take it game by game. And, I mean, the ultimate goal is to be MAC champion. So, you know, obviously looking back at the game, we have to look back at what we got to do better and grow from that point on.
My last question for you would have to be, last year you kind of had Maya Starks to kind of show you the ropes a little bit. I mean, she was mostly the ball handler. How important was her being there with you last year, kind of help you show you the ropes at the college level of being a ball handler? I know you had some turnovers today, you kind of forced some stuff, but I mean, from last to this year, this is probably the most I've seen you handle the ball in a game.
Yeah, I did a really good job of showing me the ropes and whatnot, and she made me better on defense every day in practice. So that's definitely something I credit to her.
That's all I had. Thank you.
Okay, hold on. All right.
Sorry.
We'll go to Eddie Curfew from the Daily Chronicle.
Hey, Shelby, just real quick, what was the experience like out there for you today? I mean, obviously, I know you've played before, but it was like a different role for you, having to shoulder the scoring load and everything. What was that like? How would you say you handled it?
I would say that I didn't handle it as well as I want to. So moving forward, I know that I need to do better and handle the ball better. So definitely looking forward for the next game to be better and have a better outcome in the game as well.
What was you think costing you with the ball handling there? Was it something you were doing? Was it something they were doing? What was it that you saw that was not working 100%?
I think that they're a very good defensive team, and their pressure and a little bit of the first game, but I know that some of the things I did were unlike me and I need to do better.
Okay, thanks.
All right, Shelby, that should be good for you. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, next up is Janae Poisson. Eddie, we'll let you go ahead and start with the questions for Janae.
Johnny, I know it's been kind of a long last 3 years for you not getting a lot of action. What was it like today getting on the court, scoring that many points, and does something feel different about this year? Makes you a little more confident in staying healthy?
Yeah, just being healthy and feeling the best that I've felt within the past 3 years has definitely contributed to how I look on the court. I'm just happy to be out there. Obviously, I'm not happy with the outcome, but I don't take any day for granted anymore. So being out there and trying to contribute in a more physical role than verbal means a lot to me.
That's what I had. Thank you.
All right, hold on. Justin, go ahead,
Janae.
Justin.
Hi, Janae. I just have a couple questions for you. They kind of go off what Eddie said. And I even asked this to your coach. I said, this is by far I know you've dealt with injuries the last 2 years, but even last year when you come back, this is by far the most I think you've looked comfortable on the floor. I know she had mentioned it has to do with a lot of confidence in your health right now. My point of this question is how important do you think, I know you're going to have a bigger role this year than last year, and I imagine you would like to get back out there and score a lot more because Coach Carlsen also brought the fact that you love to score and you're a good scorer. How is that going to involve? You would love to be more involved in this offense a lot more than last year. I imagine, is that correct?
Yes, yeah, for sure.
And my next question is: I know you had the back-to-back knee injuries. How much time did you really have for preparation this season? I know it's difficult when you only played 4 games last season and didn't play really a whole lot the season before. And I know COVID had. How much preparation do you have before the season started? I know there was still probably some controlled stuff like that. I don't know if you worked out by yourself or just a couple teammates. How it went down?
Well, I would say the only really benefit of COVID is that I really had a lot of time to rehab my knee. I had surgery again in May, which I think really contributed to how comfortable I feel now. And having that quarantine time really gave me the time to really work on myself in rehab. So it was really by myself because of quarantine, but I have teammates that supported me as well and that did rehab with me, like Aaron. But just the time that we've had since April has really been my prep time, and I think that's going to show a lot more this season. So.
My final question, I asked this to Shelby too. I know an ultimate goal for you guys would be a MAC championship. But what are some of the goals that you would like to accomplish, not only just for your team, but for yourself this season?
I just want to impact the game in any way I can. I think the biggest thing that I've learned over the past 3 years is that you can impact the game in more than one way, and it doesn't have to be just scoring. So a goal for me is to really just get stops, try to be a better defender, which is something I know that I lack in my game. So really, that's a goal for me, is just to be a presence on the defensive end.
Okay, thank you.
Janae, thank you very much for joining us. Justin and Eddie, thanks as well. This concludes today's post-game press conference, and we'll see you guys soon.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Hey.